Welcome to Boating Georgian Bay TV.
We're here at Tugfest in Midland. Take a tour as we see some of the local tugs that come off the bay. Years have been coming to Tugfest?
7 years.
7 years. And where are you folks from?
Penetangwishing.
Penetangwishing.
Just around the corner.
Just around the corner.
Right.
Have you had your tug for a long time?
13 years.
13 years?
Everything's 13.
Everything's 13?
I'm not suspicious though.
Do all your own work? Do all your own work?
Absolutely. Well, except the hire a welder.
Yes.
Can't weld.
Yes. Very good.
Anyway, everything I've done on this boat with a little bit of help. And 13 summers of working on it.
Fantastic.
It's almost time to go.
Having a good time?
Yes, we are. Racing right now.
Good.
All of 8 knots. Wow, that's really fast.
Thanks for talking to us today.
Okay.
Bye now. Where are you folks from?
Harry Sound.
Harry Sound. You come to Tugfest every year?
Year 2 for us.
Year 2? And how long have you had your tug for? Wow, fantastic. You're having a good...
4 years in the yard and 2 years on the water.
4 years working on it and 2 years out, eh? Good for you. And you having a good time?
Lovely time, lovely weather.
Good.
Lots of other character boats.
Thanks for talking to us today. I'm here with Robert Van Newton in the studio, and Robert is a well-known commercial artist. Robert has a unique style, a lot of humor to his art, and you might say that he has some experience and specializes in the marine area. So, Robert, how did you get started in your business?
It happened actually in 1986 after 7 years of working in the industry. I decided to move my passion towards outdoor recreational marine art, and I approached Mercury Marine. And from there we've developed a 28-year-old program that's a highly successful dealership incentive program worldwide. And in the ensuing result is I've produced to date over 520 illustrations pertaining to marine art. What Mercury found fascinating was instead of portraying sexy boats with sexy bikinis, etc., using cartoonized humor and exposing the passion for boating, fishing, water skiing turned out to be a much more effective way of producing their calendars.
Robert, where do you find the inspiration for your art?
I just look at life upside down, and when I'm portraying a boat situation, I just think of so many different things in terms of its theme, seasonal aspects, or whatever. I have a funny family, put it that way. Boating started with me as a kid already. I used to love exploring lakes and shorelines, taking our little 3.3 Merc out there, and I love dogs. And in this case, what we have here is some adventurers and a dog, and they ran across a treasure that is absolutely spectacular.
It's dog bones. The dog's excited and the kids aren't.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, Robert, was this piece done for, is this a Merc piece?
This is a Mercury piece.
Yeah.
And it was done in 1991.
Robert, who are some of the marine-related contracts, the companies that you have that you do work for now?
Well, because of the success of the Mercury program over the years, right away I seem to have fallen into other industries such as the Allied Boating Association of Canada. I worked with the Canadian Power Sail Squadrons on their successful Boating Pro series. Obviously, I was
I've seen some Coast Guard stuff, right?
Yeah, both sides of the border.
Both sides of the border.
Yeah. U.S. and Canadian Coast Guards. Some highly successful programs, award-winning actually.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, for some of your viewers, if you're buying a PFD, you'll see a little booklet on every PFD sold in Canada with my little illustrations and.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a neat thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and from there, it just ballooned, it blossomed, and we've been having a fantastic time. So over 20 years I've been working in this industry now.
Fantastic. Robert, where does the art end up?
The art ends up in many, many places, from posters to billboards, web, all print media, magazines, trade magazines. It's everywhere. We have literally millions of impressions out there that are distributed through government agencies, either side of the border, by the corporates that I work with. You'll see my stuff out there.
You mentioned, I think earlier, you mentioned that you even have the tags of life jackets. PFDs have a little cartoon.
My wife keeps saying to me that if we had a penny for each life jacket tag that I produced out there, I'd be a very wealthy person today.
Robert, you do like lifelike models as well. You're just showing me some examples here. What's this all about?
What we have here, Mark, is two invasive species beetles, one being the Asian longhorn beetle and one being the emerald ash borer. This right now is a major concern in around the GTA area of Toronto. The project was commissioned by York Region for kids to become aware of what these creatures are all about. And we created a stump which the creature can be affixed to with a nice little peeling back the bark in terms of where their what their larvae look like. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's fantastic. It's a fantastic program.
Robert, what about for yourself? What do you get from your art?
Humor. I got the greatest job in the world, and the fact that I can make myself laugh every day, it's simply awesome.
So do you sit around and work at your desk and kind of chuckle away as you work?
There are times that I do at least have at least one chuckle a day.
Robert, if somebody wanted to get access to your art for commercial purposes or something like that, how would they get hold of you?
I have two websites today: robertvannoodcreative.com or robertvannoodeimages.com. Just Google my name and put Mercury cartoons or fishing cartoons or boating cartoons, boating illustrations, any of those keyword searches, and you'll bounce into me real quick. I have a very extensive portfolio available to the general public and to commercial entities.
Good. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Interesting to visit your studio.
Thank you.
We're here today at CMC Electronics with Roy and Lauren, and Roy and Lauren are going to show us the latest in Raymarine features of their new electronics. Roy, a lot of our viewers may not realize the depth of the CMC Electronics company. Give us a snapshot of how CMC got started and how big the company is.
Well, CMC is 100 years old. It was actually started by Marconi in 1902. We created the first microwave radio network across Canada, and now we are the largest marine electronics distributor in Canada. We have offices all across the country. We have an office in Burnaby, one in Mississauga, our head office in Montreal. We have an office in Matane in Quebec, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia.
So how many total would that be across Canada? A lot.
How many is that?
A lot, right?
11.
11. Wow, that's
Yeah, I
great.
forgot
St. John's.
That's great.
Oh, I forgot St. John's. Sorry.
Oh, St. John's
Yeah.
as well. Wow.
Yeah.
And in your depot here in Mississauga, you specialize mainly in just the marine electronics, the Raymarine part. Is that correct?
Yeah, all we do is distribution of marine electronics. Raymarine is definitely our main product line. We do distribute some other product lines as well. For example, isotherm refrigeration, Webasto air conditioners, Navico electronics.
KVH, right, as well?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
We also distribute KVH.
Lauren, a lot of boaters were concerned a few years ago with Ray Marine's situation, and they thought that maybe Ray Marine would be out of business. What happened there? I mean, they were acquired. What happened there, and how did that bode for the market?
Well, in the spring of 2010, Ray Marine was purchased by Fleer Systems, and it was actually a pretty exciting time for Ray Marine because Fleer was looking to get into a more recreational market, and for Ray Marine, it was a great fit. There was already some small integration between Ray Marine and Fleer, and essentially in came a company with deep pockets for R&D and really allowed Ray Marine to expand their product line and move into areas they may not have been in before.
Boy, I've got a Ray Marine 2000 C Series. It works perfect. Why would I be interested in upgrading my electronics?
Probably the biggest reason today to upgrade is the ease of use. The software, the Lighthouse software interface that Ray Marine is now using, it's so simple to use, very intuitive, and just makes life a lot easier. One of the other advantages with the new displays is the super high bright sunlight readable displays. Extremely easy to see in absolute direct sunlight.
So, I guess what you're really saying is the user friendliness alone is a huge paradigm shift in the industry, right? Just the ability for most people to be able to utilize features better. Is that correct?
Yes, with Ray Marine's new Lighthouse software, it's really designed where, depending on where you are in the display, if you're in the chart plotter display, if you're in the radar display, all the menus just relate to that display. So you're not scrolling through lots of menus to accomplish what you want. The individual menus are simple and geared to the actual display you're using.
So Roy, I'm just an average guy, and electronics to me can be overwhelming. And if I want to upgrade what I have right now to the latest here, what's the best way to accomplish that and make sure I'm getting what I need?
I think the best way to handle that is to go to a local Ray Marine dealer who is going to be knowledgeable in the product line, and you really need to just tell him what you'd like to accomplish, what information you want, and they can put together a package quite easily for you. They may also offer advice on some of the optional pieces that you can add to these systems, some things you maybe haven't thought about that are really important for boating, to make boating safer and a little bit less stress-free.
So with the complication of the systems these days, it may not be the best option just to pick something up on sale at a box store or something. It may make a lot of sense to treat it as a project and have somebody kind of coach you through it, right?
Yeah, many of these systems require proprietary cabling, things like CTalk NG, which is Ray Marine's proprietary data format, and a lot of the big box stores don't have that information or not familiar enough with the product to be able to spec out all of the cables required and some of the optional accessories. Most local Ray Marine dealers can easily put together a package including all the cables and everything that will be required.
And if a dealer does get stuck, you guys are there to support them, right?
Absolutely. We're located right here. There's really no one else that can support a product like we can support Ray Marine.
Roy, we're looking at some really cool technology here. Tell me about what this Dragonfly is all about.
Yeah, Dragonfly is one of Ray Marine's new units here, and the really exciting new feature is the down vision technology. It's a depth sounder fish finder that actually gives you a photo quality image of the bottom. That is also now available in a black box version that is capable of working with the larger MFDs as well.
So what we'd be looking at is a side-to-side image to the side of the boat that would show the bottom just as it actually appears, like and it scales itself to different depths?
Yes, it does. It will auto scale itself, and basically it's a fan beam that goes out straight below the boat and off to the side to create this photo image of the bottom.
Very handy to have, when you're...
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing for fishermen, but has lots of other uses. People have been finding wrecks that no one knew about, planes on the bottom, cars on the bottom of places with this new technology.
Fantastic. Lauren, give us a rundown on this plotter here.
Okay, so what you're seeing here is the home page on the new Ray Marine plotters. Now, as you can see, there's an icon that corresponds to the different features that this plotter has. I had pointed out the chart icon before. You can also see fish finder, radar, and a number of other icons. The best thing about this is how easy it is to customize it. You can make any of these icons into any of the different elements that you would like them to be. For example, if you want a chart over here, easy to move it. That being said, let's just take a look at the fish finder. Simply by pressing the icon, we're immediately brought in to the fish finder application on the display. Now, if you have a model that has a built-in fish finder, such as the E127, it is very easy to integrate this into your system. Okay, so here you can see that on the Raymarine unit, the internal Wi-Fi router is turned on. What that allows you to do is to actually connect your iPad, or like I said, other devices, to the unit via Wi-Fi. Once you're connected, you can now run the Ray Control or RayView app. What it will do is it will actually find this display on Wi-Fi and connect to it. And then instantly you can see that what's on this screen is also displayed on your handheld device. Now, the real benefit of this is that this is portable. You can take this and walk around the boat with it, and it allows you to do all of the different things on this screen as well. So if I hit the chart icon, for example, you can see the chart on here, and it's also on here, and it allows you full control of your plotter through your handheld device.
Now, I understand there's two options that Raymarine offers in terms of that interface. What are those options?
Well, the two options are the Ray Control app and the RayView app. The Ray Control app is on the Apple Store and the Google Store for $49.95, and that's the application that gives you full control over your Raymarine display. If you want to just have a viewing application, that's absolutely free, and you can also download that, like I said, from the Apple Store or the Google Store. The viewing app just acts as a repeater. Whatever you do on your Raymarine display is shown on your second screen. So, for example, if you have it on your depth app, you can go up to the bow of the boat and anchor your boat. You know exactly how deep a water you're in. If you want a little bit more control, a little bit more ability to use your second screen, your handheld device, as another display, then you'd want to invest the $50 into the Ray Control app.
So, Lauren, would the same thing apply in that interface with a smartphone versus a tablet?
Close, but not quite. On a smartphone, you don't quite have as much screen as you do on a tablet, obviously. So what Raymarine's done is allow you to use a remote control application. On your iPhone, you would see basically the mirror image of the controls on the side of the display here. So you can then change the screen on your actual display and then flip back to the screen where you can see what's happening on the display.
Lauren, for some people, technology is overwhelming, and how do you keep up with the software upgrades and things like that on these units?
Well, on these units, it's actually a lot simpler than it's ever been. One thing I'd encourage people to do is to visit raymarine.com. There's a lot of great features on their websites, and one of the things you're actually able to get is the current software for the new Raymarine displays. You download it off of their website, and if you have a card reader, you can put the software onto a micro SD card and then put it right into the unit. It's as simple as turning the unit on, and it will automatically update the software on its own. Then you pull the card out, and bang, you have all of the latest features and all of the latest abilities that the new software brings. Raymarine's committed to doing software updates and adding features, and one of the key things is that all of these new features are absolutely free. You just need to update the software, and you're able to do all of the new features automatically.
And this is an end user process, so I don't need my Marine Tech or whatever to do that. I can do this myself?
No, all you need is a laptop and a card reader, and with those, like I said, download the software, put it on the card, put the card into the plotter, and turn the plotter on. It's as simple as that.
Fantastic. So guys, boaters are always concerned. There's so many products out there, and the worry is always you get a product and you have a problem. You can't always get it fixed. So tell me about your shop here and what you guys add value to this situation.
Well, that's one of the real advantages that CMC has over a lot of other companies, is that we absolutely service everything we sell. We do complete repairs. We do technical support for Raymarine, and that is in all of Canada. So we cover Raymarine repairs and support for the whole country.
Yeah, and one of the real advantages too is just being able to reach us by phone. You know, we're not an automated system. You're not going to get a computer voice. You're actually going to speak to one of us on the phone. You know, if you have a question, if you're out in the middle of a lake on a Friday and you want to get going for the weekend, you can speak with one of us, and we'll do our best to make sure you get your system running and have a good weekend.
Thanks. And I know we had a situation on my boat. It was actually KVH system, and you guys came up. They couldn't sort it out at the local level, and had spent a lot of time on it. And you guys came up to Midland. I know you don't normally do that, but you actually came up and sorted that out, and that kind of service is really appreciated.
Well, you know, one of the things, that's something we do, you know, when it comes to a point where you've exhausted all of your other avenues, you know, Roy and I are willing to do that to make sure that that you get what you need. You've invested money in your electronics, and obviously you want to see them work, and we're here to make sure that that happens.
Yeah, you know, I'm on the road in all of Ontario, and I often you know, take care of those little fires. If somebody has exhausted, as Lawrence says, you know, what the local dealer can do for you, I often will go to the boat and help solve some of those problems. And we have other reps around the country who are doing very similar things.
Well, listen, guys, I really want to thank you today for leading us through all this information. It's almost overwhelming what you can do with marine electronics. You seem to run a great shop here and really know what you're doing, and I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Roy.
We're here
Thanks,
to make
Lauren.
it not overwhelming.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So we're here at Bayport Marina with Scott Kane, and Scott is the general manager of the marina. And as you probably are aware, Bayport is a Park Bridge marina. Now, Scott recently was up as one of the leaders on the Park Bridge Rendezvous. So Scott, tell me how that went.
Well, the rendezvous, we were very fortunate this year. The weather was excellent, and we departed here from the Severn Sound area with all our marinas. We had 59 boats in total when we left, and our first step, we went from here to Perry Sound, and we spent the night at Big Sound Marina, which is a great destination for anyone who's out and about. They looked after us well. We went from there, we went up to the Bustards. We went straight through out at Point of Barrow, took the inside channel, and then we went up to the Bustards and up in the Gun Barrel. We spent a couple of days there. The weather again was nice. We had pizza flown in.
Oh, really? You had a float plane come in?
Yeah, we had a float plane.
Yeah.
So actually Kevin Marinelli from Skyline arranged that for us. And we had that and Jeff St. Clair up there. And we went from there to Killarney.
Yep.
And Killarney, spent a few days at Killarney, went over to Bay of Finn and Lake Topaz.
Oh, you went up to Bay Finn, right to Topaz. Did you go to Cover Bay Cove as well, or?
No, we didn't go there.
No, you went right up to Bay Finn.
Just right up to Bay Finn. And we were fortunate to, saw a family of bears, a mother and her cubs, right on shore. She gave us quite a show, you know, with protection. And
did people anchor right in the pool there?
We anchored in the pool. It was just a day trip from Killarney.
Yep.
We took up 6 big boats, and everyone jumped on, and we went up.
And then everybody hiked up to the lake, had a swim type thing?
Yeah,
cool.
The lake was pretty nice.
Sounds like fun. Everybody had a great time, I trust?
Yeah, it was really good.
So, Bayport now. What I hear from other boaters, and I get around a lot, you know, Bayport seems to be the real, I guess you would say, boaters marina. The service levels in terms of mechanical services and stuff are kind of top of the bay. I think it's the second biggest marina on the bay, right?
It would be the second biggest, yeah.
Second biggest. And what's your ideas on that? Like, is that something that you guys set yourselves apart with in terms of you know, providing higher service levels?
Well, we really strive here to have the higher service levels. We have we treat all our customers. We make sure everyone goes boating on Friday, no matter what. Our guys sometimes stay, you know, till midnight, but we get them boating, and we have spent a lot of investment on our staff and training so that they're prepared to deal with this stuff. You know, we're open 7 days a week. We have 24-hour-a-day security, so we seem to be a great destination. A lot of loopers and people coming through the Trent. The word's out, and they stop here, and they know they get looked after. So.
How many service staff do you have on site?
I have 7 technical.
Yes.
And then some refinishing and cleaners.
Right.
And whatever we don't have on staff, we have available to us through subcontractors.
Right, and you do full glass work, everything on site. You do everything yourself, pretty much, except for probably canvas work and things like
canvas
that.
work and then stainless steel fabrication,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But most of it is done in-house.
Just
We
done
have
in-house,
a couple of full-time glass guys, and we have, like I said, Merck techs, Cummins techs.
Right. So Scott, I understand there's been some big changes in terms of dockage in the marina. What's happening there?
Well, over the last couple of years, we've relocated 96 of our 25-foot slips, and we built our dry stack building. So we were able to accommodate all our customers in those slips in our dry stack, and at that point giving us the opportunity to expand our bigger slips. So we're putting in some new steel retaining wall with 60-foot slips. They'll be, extra wide, but the market is growing a little at bigger boats where there's just not the other slips around to accommodate them. And us having the 75-ton travel lift, all the bigger boats come here to get hauled out anyhow, so we figured we might as well keep them.
You're the biggest travel lift on the bay, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and so, but you also, I think what you're telling me is you're seeing a move towards bigger boats, or you see that coming down the pipe, eh?
Yes, the bigger boats seem to be coming to Georgian Bay now that the facilities are available for them to get hauled out and looked after. They seem to be moving up. The boating is great. They love it.
And what's the maximum size in your dry stack?
Maximum size on our dry stack is 30 feet.
Scott, if I'm a client in this marina and I'm out on the water and I have some kind of trouble, what's the process there? Do you guys help out in any way?
Oh yes, we have customers that run into trouble, and what they'll do is they'll give us a call either on the cell phone or the VHF, and we have techs available to us through the phone, 24 hours a day. So if it's we can try and talk them through it. Quite often we can get a tech on the line, and the boater themselves can just get themselves going enough to get home. Or if we need to, we can go out in our customer service boat and take a tech out and get them going from there enough to get home, which is something we do quite often. If it's anything too major, then there's a towing company out of Penetang, which we would contact on the customer's behalf.
And you kind of assist to make sure they get back safely, eh? If they have to get a tow or something like that.
Yes, we always keep in contact with them until they get home safe, whether it's day or night.
While we were in Bayport talking to Scott, we ran in some of the loopers that we had seen earlier in Norfolk. I'm here with Jay, and Jay's a familiar face because we interviewed Jay down at Norfolk at the Looper Convention. And this is Jay's home port, Bayport, and he has a beautiful Fleming 55. Jay, tell us about your trip so far.
Well, we're doing the Great Loop, and I guess the real interesting part about it is just the variety of waters and variety of people and variety of locales you meet, and it's just been absolutely wonderful. I mean, if you like the water, you like boating, doing the Great Loop's a great thing. Now,
I understand Bayport actually had a captain come over and meet all the boats at Severn and brought the group back and stuff like that?
Well, they certainly provided that service to a lot of boats. We're familiar with Georgian Bay, so we didn't utilize that. We weren't with that group, but we came over ourselves. But Bayport did provide that service to a lot of loopers and helped a lot of people out.
That's cool. And what are your plans from here? Where are you heading now?
Well, we're here for another week or so, and then because it's our home port, and then our plan is to go up into the North Channel and across over to Lake Michigan and down in Chicago. We hope to be in Chicago by about the middle of September.
And you'll complete your loop when you're back in Florida, correct?
Yeah, around the east coast of Florida. We'll get into the Gulf down in Mobile, Alabama, go around the Gulf, around the Keys, and back into a place called Vero Beach, Florida, where we started on April 3rd of this year.
Cool. Well, have a great journey.
Well, thanks very much. We're enjoying it.
So I understand you're one of the Great Loop group, and we were down in Norfolk, Virginia at the annual convention there, and we thought we'd interview a few of you guys on your way up here now that you've made it to Georgian Bay. So how's the trip been for you so far?
It's been great. Canadian people have just been wonderful. The whole locking system has been pretty smooth. A few little glitches along the way, but not bad.
Did you get delayed in the locks at all?
We got delayed back in New York at Waterford for 3 weeks due to the weather. Then we went ahead and stripped the boat down and came up Lake Champlain. And when we got into the Trent Severn, we ran into a few delays there where the lock workers were having to shuttle from lock to lock.
Right.
But it wasn't terrible.
Good. And where are you off to next?
We are going to cruise Georgian Bay here, catch some of the nice anchorages and work our way to North Channel and back to Mackinac.
And your home port is?
Treasure Island, Florida.
Cool. Well, welcome to Canada.
Well, thank you. It's been a fun time. I'm
here with Jeff in Bayport Marina, and Jeff is one of the loopers. And Jeff, where's your home port?
Asheville, North Carolina, but we keep our boat in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So
good. And first time around the loop?
First time around the loop. Yep.
Having a great time so far?
Excellent. Just couldn't be better. We've been in Canada since July 9th, so we've been enjoying it immensely.
Good. Did you get a little bit delays down in the locks down there in the Erie Barge Canal?
We did. We actually stayed in Waterford for 3 weeks because that was our original plan to do the Erie Canal, but we decided and we just couldn't wait any longer, so we took everything down we could to get underneath the 17-foot clearance bridge. So.
Right. And so you went up through Lake Champlain?
Went up through Lake Champlain, up to Sorel and Montreal, and then we went up to Ottawa and did the Rideau too. So.
Oh wow, you've been around already.
We have, yeah.
Yeah. So how long are you going to spend doing Georgian Bay?
Probably I would say between Georgian Bay and North Channel, probably 2 to 3 weeks.
That's perfect. You'll have a great time.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you're looking forward to that, I guess, eh?
Absolutely, yeah. We just had a meeting with Ken yesterday, and he kind of gave us the highlights, and so we're going to probably pull out of here tomorrow.
Yeah, Park Bridge is great about helping the loopers with their journey and whatnot.
Sure, they actually sent us a guide down from Severn and helped us through to get to here, so it was very nice. It was wind was blowing about 30 miles an hour, so in narrow channels, so it was nice to have.
You're glad to have that help, eh?
Yep.
That's great. That's a great service.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Have a great journey.
We're here at Penetanguishene Harbor, one of 3 locations where there's tall ships, featured in the Tall Ships 1812 rendezvous. And in this particular harbor right now, there's the Niagara, and there are other ships coming in on their way in, and we'll see them later on. So what's it like to sail on a tall ship?
Well, it's exhilarating, and a lot of energy and effort goes into keeping the ship sailing.
And where are you from?
England.
England, fantastic. Well, you enjoying yourself here in Midland?
It's amazing. I love meeting Canadians.
Nice to meet you. So you're one of the reenactors here at the 1812 display?
I am indeed. I am Dr. Phineas Quimby. I demonstrate the efficacy of Miraculum medicosity.
Wow, that sounds heavy.
Well, I can make it heavier, sir. I demonstrate the efficacy utilizing circumlocutory dispensations and prestidigitation.
Fantastic. Well, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
All right, let's do it. Ready? Let's sing a song. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark? This is the Mark song.
I put a wheel in Mark's left hand.
I put a wheel in Mark's right hand.
I put a wheel between Mark's feet. I used Mark as a wagon, and we went up and down, and we went round and round. We did the alley hop, we did the wacky drop. Went down a hill and took a spill, and now Mark is dead.
We're here at Beckwith Island, one of 3 islands, Hope, Christian, and Beck, often referred to as the Caribbean North. The water is crystal clear. There's about 30 feet of vision into the water, and as you can see, I mean, this is a nice weather weekend, and there's probably 150 boats here. There was more earlier. You know, a lot of boats just come for the day and then they take off. But it's a busy place. Beautiful sand beaches at Beckwith, and Hope as well. I mean, all of them. Christian, they've all got great sand beaches. These are First Nations owned islands, and but they do let people come ashore, and it's a really pretty area to just come for a day. Pure sand anchorage. Well, if you can't get to the Caribbean, you can go visit Caribbean North, Beckwith, Christian, and Hope Islands, right in Georgian Bay.